I am the way, the truth, and the life. Let's begin with an admission that this is probably one of the most audacious statements made in human history. Not just, here's a way, or even, here's the way. Instead, it's, I am the way, the truth, and the life. But our passage doesn't lead with this audacious statement. It starts with Jesus saying, do not let your hearts be troubled. Now, that provokes the question, why would their hearts be troubled? After all, it's Passover, the night they remember and celebrate Israel's deliverance from Egypt. And they're celebrating it with the guy that they believe is going to bring about deliverance 2.0. Why would their hearts be troubled? Probably it's because their hearts feel like they've just been punched 3 times by Jesus. First, he announces that one of them is going to betray him. Then he announces he's going to be departing from them. And when Peter tries to step up and say, hey man, I'll follow you anywhere, rather than saying, thanks buddy, he says, no Peter, you're going to deny me 3 times before the night is over. But hey, don't let your hearts be troubled. How about you? Your heart troubled? You finding ways to keep your mind occupied during this pandemic? You know, among all the things that Jen and I will remember about this time of social distancing is how many sports documentaries we've watched. From Ken Burns' Baseball, to OJ, Made in America, to The Last Dance. And we're not watching them because we miss sports. We don't follow sports. I have a hunch that part of the appeal is that sports provide these limited, manageable conflicts, manageable crises. They're an escape from this unmanageable crisis we find ourselves in. Plus, I love how a good documentary can make you feel all the tension and anticipation of those big moments in a competition where everything is on the line. I marvel at the player that's able to step up. That sort of heroic moment where they say, I want the ball. Give me the ball, no hesitation. Give me the ball, I will win this thing. And then they go out and do it.
The inbounds pass comes into Jordan. Here's Michael at the foul line. A shot on Elo. Good! The Bulls win it! They win it! Set the Cleveland Cavaliers!
Seconds to go for a trip to the national championship. Ogunbowale. Good!
Sometimes they say, give me the ball, I'll do it twice.
Ogunbowale for the win. Good! Arike Ogunbowale wins the national championship for Notre Dame.
Sometimes those heroic moments begin with somebody hobbling out of the dugout.
All year long, they looked to him to light the fire, and all year long, he answered the demands until he was physically unable to start tonight with 2 bad legs. After
barely getting his bat on 2 nearly identical pitches, he ekes out a
little nubber
that rolls
foul.
And at that point, we're starting to have our doubts. I'm sorry about that, Gibby.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone!
But you know, it's not just sports that have these heroic moments where someone steps up in the middle of a crisis. Movies have that too, Marvel movies. The difference is that when mere mortals step up, they tend to be a little amped up in those heroic moments. It's all in a day's work for superheroes.
It's like I was made for this.
I'm sorry, did saving the universe interrupt Hulk nap time? Our text this morning isn't set in the Marvel universe, it's set in this one. And the stakes aren't just a national championship or a World Series. For the disciples, the world is coming unglued. They'd left everything to follow Jesus. After that triumphal entry into Jerusalem just a few days earlier, they were anticipating liberation and glory. Not betrayal, not denial, not departure. So yeah, their hearts are troubled, deeply troubled. Jesus, on the other hand, not only refuses to see all this as a disaster, he insists it changes nothing. For him, the outcome of all this won't be determined by the failures of the disciples, the schemes of the religious elite, or the brutality of Rome. For Jesus, those things will simply clarify what is for him the point. And that point is this: I determine the outcome of all this. I am the way, I am the truth, and I am the life. When Jesus says, believe in God, believe also in me, he's saying, just give me the ball. We're going to win this thing. And in fact, that's where the story goes from here. Jesus overpowers violence, shame, and death with peace, love, and life. His victory over all of that is total. His claims were audacious, but his emergence from the tomb proves that they were also warranted. This is worth keeping in mind when it looks as though our world is coming unglued. You know, everybody from State Farm to Facebook to your local car dealership is running ads talking about how we're all in this together. And in fact, we are. But we are also afraid. And you can see that fear morphing into anger. You see that when armed protesters barrel into state capitals and others send threatening messages about civil war. Facebook and Twitter this week were freaking out about this video that accuses Big Pharma of manufacturing this whole pandemic. And even those things aside, let's face it, we have no idea how this is all going to turn out. How this ends is anyone's guess. Jesus does not ask us to deny how bad the situation is. He doesn't ask us to pretend that things are better than they are. In fact, in that upper room, it is Jesus that points out some of the grim realities that are coming to bear on their situation. He simply asks that we do not allow the particulars of our circumstances to take control of our hearts. That we believe in God, believe also in his Messiah, and to trust that ultimately they will dictate the end of the story. But here's the remarkable thing about the passage. It doesn't stop with that one audacious statement. Audacious statements keep on coming. I mentioned how a good documentary can make you feel all the tension and anticipation of those heroic moments. It's like you're there. But imagine actually being there. Imagine it actually being you.
The game right now is at the plate. High fly ball into right field. She is gone.
Inbounds pass comes into Jordan. Here's Michael at the foul line. A shot on Elo. Good! The Bulls win! They win! Set the Cleveland Cavaliers!
Jesus also invites us to become part of that story being told, to operate in his name, to ask for anything we need in that effort, so that when hearts are troubled, you can be the one who says, "Here, give me the ball. I'll bring a love that casts out fear. I'll bring a generosity that overcomes scarcity. I will bring an audacious life, even in the midst of death, because it is a life that has defeated death. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.